What is up, everybody? This is the Petty Eddie podcast, and I am your host, Eddie McDonald, or on Twitter at Camera15, as you see at the bottom of the screen. Got some Browns things to discuss this week. No guests as of right now, but last week talked all about Survivor Series and the fallout from that. So I'll be going solo again. Great lineup tonight for you here on Network 216. Got my show right now, Faithful Dogs podcast at 8 and Dog Chug at 10. Make sure to check everyone out there. Make sure if you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We are going to be doing a jersey giveaway. I don't know if it's when we reach a certain number of subscribers or if we're just going to announce a date and do it. We're still working that out, but a free jersey of your choice. You do not have to pay a thing. You just have to hit subscribe, and then we'll pick a random winner at that. So, yeah, make sure to do that. Network _ 216 on Twitter. Follow us there. But the YouTube page, youtube.com/ at network _ 216. So make sure to check us out there. A lot of fun things happening. Got some good news from our sponsor this week, Homage. I'll be talking about them here shortly. Yeah, and I'll just have some fun tonight. You know, I'm riding solo. That's fine. Eventually, I'll get better at getting guests. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. Here's the cat. She's the guest. It's cat week, so you know, Bengals game. Big cat person here, but if I saw correctly, I believe Kevin Stefanski's never lost to a cat team in his NFL tenure. His short 2.5-year stint in the NFL as head coach. That's pretty impressive. Never lost to the Bengals. 4-0 against them. Let me see who else they have. One second here. I can't find the thing, so it is what it is. It's undefeated against cat teams. Hopefully that continues, and if they are able to sweep the Bengals for a third consecutive season, that will go a long way for a playoff push. Browns currently at 5-7. The Bengals are 7-5, ahead of them in the division and in the wild card standings. So yeah, I'm trying to look up that stat to see who else they. I know all the teams. I just don't want to. I will find it eventually. Who knows? Maybe I won't. But yeah, Homage. Just talked about them earlier. I'm wearing this lovely, awesome shirt that my mother got me as a Christmas gift. A lovely cheese pizza just for me from the iconic Home Alone movie. Kevin orders himself a pizza when everyone, leaves him stranded in Chicago. So he orders his own pizza. A lovely cheese pizza just for me, as he was not able to get pizza during the first part of the movie because everyone ate it all, and Buzz ate the cheese pizza, and then he ended up, barfing it up anyway because Kevin got involved. Look what you did, you little jerk. And there's another shirt of Homage. Make sure to go check them out, homage.com. Great sponsor of us. Know a lot of good things with them. Everything you want is there sports-wise. They have MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, college football. They also have, pop culture. They have Christmas movies. A bunch of different deals going on all the time, now until Christmas. So make sure if you are a fan of something, you get yourself something for Christmas, or you get those you love something for Christmas. I said all the teams from all the leagues. There's Ohio State gear, pop culture like The Office, Home Alone. There is Elf and Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story stuff on there. A few other Christmas things. Make sure to check that out, homage.com. Find all of our links all over the Network 216 family. Network 216, the account, Network _ 216 tweets out different links every day. Make sure to use those links. Make sure to get yourself hooked up for Christmas. I can't get enough of how soft these shirts are. You always see me wearing the Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb NFL Jam shirt. And speaking of Jam, they did a Grateful Dead and NBA collaboration. So here's what they say at Homage. Ready for some ultra cozy fleece NBA Deadheads? Not without a brand new collection of crucial Grateful Dead hoodies for all 30 teams inspired by Jerry and company. So make sure to go check those out. When you go to the site, you can get up to 30% off, I believe it is. There's a gift guide on there. They have the starter jackets, the NFL starter jackets. The collection is there. Both the pullovers with the hood and the satin ones, the satin jackets. You have to see what's available. I know these sold very, very well when they initially launched, so make sure to go check that out. All sorts of different things on here. Like I said, the pop culture is great. They have a SpongeBob inspired thing for it's called Go Deep Under the Sea, NFL teams and SpongeBob. It's big because if you have children, you probably watch some games on Nickelodeon, which is odd for me to say. The holiday collection, as I alluded to earlier, there's go-to bundles that have hats and beanies. There's a whole bunch of great stuff here. There's new arrivals. New heights with Jason and Travis Kelce. The Kelce Jam, the Travis and Jason Kelce on there. Just so many things. DC comic book heroes with the NBA. I'm just looking through all this and just fantastic stuff. If you're into pro wrestling, a lot of great wrestling shirts. Can't get over how awesome they are. I got a couple for Christmas. I got Austin 316, and I got the Barbershop from Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. That is a great shirt. Make sure to just go check them out. Homage.com. And there's 12 days of homage. There's 12 new deals. I'll get to that in a second. I'm just gonna go through some of these WWE shirts. There's the WWE Slam, similar to NBA Jam, Undertaker and Kane, the Ultimate Maniacs, Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage, D-Generation X. They have two dudes with attitude, Shawn Michaels and Diesel, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dude Love, former tag team champions, Mankind and The Rock, the Hart Foundation, the Bushwhackers, Natural Disasters, the Guerreros, the Wild Samoans. There's so many. There's a Macho Man shirt, the Boyhood Dream, Shawn Michaels WrestleMania shirt. Like I said, the Austin 316, I just wore that yesterday to my darts league, and it was fantastic to wear. Three Faces of Foley, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Everyone loves the American Dream. I will not do an impression of him because I'm not good at that. So many awesome t-shirts on here. Undertaker, there's a Bret Hart one if you're into him, another Stone Cold one. There's hoodies and more shirts here. Rey Mysterio, Razor Ramon, WrestleMania 17, the barbershop window that I allude to that I have. I will wear that another time on this show. So make sure to check them out. Let me go through the holiday, the 12 days of deals is what they're calling it. Let me go find that. Just fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Can't get enough of homage. I'm so glad that we have the today is $45 go to fleece bottoms. It's today only up until midnight tonight. So make sure to go check that out. They have joggers, they have sweatpants, all sorts of things. Check them out. Check out every day for the deal. We try to tweet that out from not only the network page but our own individual pages. Jacob Roach does a great job of that. Tyler Johnson does a great job of that, especially for Cavs fans right after Cavs games, after Ohio State games, which we won't be playing until the playoffs. But we made the playoffs, so that's all that matters. Homage.com. Check them out. You can get 15% off your next purchase. There's details on the website to, figure out how to do that. So make sure to tune into that. I'm telling you, get some of these shirts. I've been told the hoodies are fantastic. Zach Noah of the Faithful Dogs podcast comes here at 8:00 right after me. He usually wears the hoodie for shows, and he said it's a comfortable hoodie because sometimes a hoodie can be deceiving. It look nice on the outside. It's all about the inside, how it feels on the inside. Make sure you're not too hot, not too whatever. He said it matches everything just like the shirts do. So make sure to go check that out. Homage.com. Can't say enough good things about them. And we're rocking and rolling. We're coming off a big win against the Texans. It was a game that was won 27-14, and there was one offensive touchdown scored, and that was by the Texans. It was not by the Browns. They scored 27 points and not score a single offensive touchdown. Two defensive touchdowns, one from Tony Fields in the fourth quarter, a pick six off a tip pass from Chase Winovich. Denzel Ward picked up a Kyle Allen fumble from 4 yards out, returned it for a score. And then on special teams, Donovan Peoples-Jones with the 76-yard punt return for the first touchdown punt return touchdown for the Browns in 121 games. That's dating back to 2015. That is a long time for that not to happen. And finally, the Browns have found a return man in the punting game. I wrote about that. My stock up, stock down this week for Dog Pound Daily. You can go check that out now. One of the things is, with Donovan Peoples-Jones, his stock went up as a kick returner. So that's pretty cool to see finally. He's definitely been showing improvements the past few weeks. So I'm glad that he got that opportunity. And really, the defense and special teams carried the two units that we always say, fire this coordinator, fire that coordinator, get rid of these guys in the offseason, rebuild in the offseason. They showed up. Again, I get it, it's the Texans, but hey, any given Sunday. It was Deshaun Watson's first game back. Jacob Roach and I talked about that on this past Monday. We did a short clip for YouTube. Go check that out, youtube.com/@network_216. We're on there. We discuss what we saw from Watson. We don't discuss much of the game because he has the Barking Browns podcast last night. I'm talking about it today. But yeah, we talked about that. And what I will highlight on that is he was going to have rust. He had not played in a meaningful NFL game in 700 days. I guess the Texans at that time probably weren't in it. They were out of the playoff race, but it was meaningful because it was game speed. It was an actual NFL game. It wasn't preseason against the Jaguars, another cat team the Browns have beaten. So yeah, he was going to look rusty. And if you thought any otherwise, then I don't know what to tell you. I hope someone in Iowa has a beach they can sell you. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if there are beaches in Iowa. Maybe. I doubt it. Yeah, he looked rusty. So the offense sort of looked rusty too. The run game sort of was on track. It was quietly. They ran for what they normally do. They ran for 100 and let's see here. I don't want to get the thing wrong. So they ran for 174 yards, led by Nick Chubb, who rushed for 80 yards on 17 carries. See, he doesn't need to rush the ball 20 times a game in order for them to win. What they do need, though, and they can't even have it for the next at least 4 weeks, Anthony Schwartz, they are 3-0 when he gets one rushing attempt. So take that for what it's worth. Means nothing really, but they're 3-0 when they do it. So, but yeah, this is a game where the offensive line desperately missed David Njoku. I talked about that on Dog Pound Daily a couple of times. Stock up, stock down. I did some quick thoughts that came out Monday. We'll have I'll talk more storyline stuff tomorrow on Dog Pound Daily. So check that out. But yeah, 27-14. What was a very odd game. The Texans got a field goal, and then later in the half, the Browns were back up to the one. Nick Chubb could not get out of the end zone. It was 5-0. So Astros 5, Guardians 0 at one point. And then here comes the Guardians, thanks to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Yes, I know it's on the Guardians. But, then it was 7-5. So 7 for the Guardians, 5 for the Astros. And now, then they went on and, won 27-14. Cade York had 2 field goals, connected on all 3 of his extra points. Now that's a big step in the right direction for him. He's had some struggles as of late. So, yeah, 2 of 2 field goals, 3 of 3 extra points. His long field goal was 43. And this game was really one of those games that the Browns dominated from about when Donovan Peoples-Jones took that touchdown to the house. Themward, it was a weird struggle at first. Watson's coming off of a long layoff, coming off a suspension. The game speed just was too fast for him. That's another article that someone wrote on Dog Pound Daily that you can go check out. Make sure to check out everyone over there. There's a whole bunch of great writers and a fantastic editor. Shout out Randy Gersey. Jacob Roach in there. One of my favorite writers, just because I work with him, but because I enjoy reading what he says. He has a lot of draft pieces coming out. He just did a mock draft, so you can go check that out sometime at your leisure. That came out, and then there's top 5 all-time punt returners on there. 3 Browns defenders that balled out in the win versus Houston. One of those was Tony Fields. I was very impressed with him, not just because he had the picks that was capped off by the pick 6, his first career interception, first career touchdown. Shout out to him. That was incredible. But he was playing very well at linebacker. They had him at will a lot of the time. Now he might be going to the Mike linebacker with Sione Takitaki sadly being lost for the season due to an ACL tear. So we wish Sione the best. He was balling out. In my eyes, I feel he earned an extension in the offseason. We'll see if they still do that with the injury. I thought that was a no-brainer. I still think it might be a no-brainer. I think they, extend him and let him heal and come back. Should come back roughly around the start of the season, maybe shortly after that. ACLs are a whole different ballgame. Before, if you had an ACL tear, you were almost done. Like, it was almost career ending. Now people get them all the time and recover faster than ever. So shout out technology and medicine for that. Don Peoples-Jones, I think he's earned himself an extension in the offseason. He's not going to command a lot of money. He's having a fantastic season as the number 2 wide receiver on the Browns. Now he's the number 1 punt returner on the Browns. Just fantastic, making a lot of tough catches. Him and I thought Deshaun Watson had a good chemistry. The few times that they hooked up together, he caught all 3 of his targets, 44 yards. I thought he was there. Let's see, Coltrane, what's up, my guy? He says, what up, Coltrane in the house tonight? What are your thoughts on a playoff push for the Browns, Eddie, or is it just a pipe dream for fans? So I wrote about that last week on Dog Pound Daily, and projecting the final 6 games with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. You can go check that out over there, Dog Pound Daily. Just type in my name or click on my name if you see one of my articles, and then you can go there. I went homerism. I really think it's a possibility. I think once that rust wears off, so he might be rusty this week. We'll get into the Bengals here shortly. I really think it's a good chance of it happening, especially if the defense is going to keep playing like this. If the special teams keeps playing like this, I think we're in good shape for that. A lot of winnable games. The Bengals are catching fire at the right time right now. They just came off a huge win against the Chiefs. So that's going to be a tough game. The Ravens might be without Lamar Jackson, who suffered a knee sprain of some sort. He's out 1 to 3 weeks. So if it is the 3 weeks, then we will miss him this time. 7 or 8-4. I'm sorry, I said earlier they were 7-5. They're 8-4. The Bengals, and the Browns are 5-7. The Bengals have won 4 in a row, so they're a hot team. Can they be tamed? It's a cat. Can they be tamed? We'll see. We have obviously winning matters most, but we also have to have some help. There's some teams ahead of us in the stands that have tiebreakers over us. So as of right now, as it currently, hold on, let me get this up and running on my phone so I can fully tell you the teams that are ahead of us, what our chances are. And again, they're going to have to play each other. Some of these teams, the AFC East, they're going to have to play each other. So hopefully we can get some wins there. So right now it is in this order: Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans. They are the 4 divisional champions as of right now. And then you got Bengals, Dolphins, Jets. And then the Patriots, Chargers, Raiders, Browns. So the Raiders have the same record as us, but have the tiebreaker, I believe, due to the conference record. And the Chargers, Patriots, Jets, and Dolphins all have the tiebreaker over us by virtue of head-to-head record. So it's going to be tough, but we do need some help. See if we can get it this week. The Raiders play the Rams. That's not easy for us, of course, but the Jets play the Bills. Should be another good game between them. Let's see, what else do we have here? Ravens and Steelers play. Obviously, hate both those teams. Can't have them tie. It might be better to have the Steelers, so they have the same record as us, even though we beat them head-to-head, so we have the tiebreaker over them. A loss really for either team would help us. So more so the Ravens, maybe a crack at the division. Jaguars, Titans, Chiefs, Broncos, Dolphins, Chargers. That is one that will benefit us one way or another if we can get the job done against Cincinnati. If we can contain and tame the Cats, then we'll be all right. Dolphins, Chargers. So more so the Dolphins beating the Chargers, then we'll have the same record if we go on to win and the Chargers lose. They do have the tiebreaker still, but that will put us one step closer to a playoff spot. So I think that's very doable. Like I said, we have to take care of business and win. These next 2 games are the biggest 2 games of the season. And I know we've said that every single week. This is the biggest game of the season, biggest game of the season, biggest game of the season. Well, finally, Deshaun's back. He didn't factor into the decision last week. He actually only threw for 131 yards, threw a pick. A weird pick. The defense easily fooled him, and he threw into that. So definitely these next 2 weeks, because if we win these next 2, that will put us back at 500. We'll be at 7-7, and then we'll be a step closer to the division more so, which I'd rather have the division, get a home playoff game, have the Browns rocking and rolling in January at home. Coltrane says, you think Watson will be less rusty this week? Can we count on him to win in these next division games? Division games too important. Yes, the division games are very, very important. I do think some of that rust is off. He got his feet wet, so to say, to get that game speed under him. Obviously, every team's different. They have different pass rushing. But I think we'll see a little bit less. He's still going to be a little rusty. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to come out and just light them up for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown on top of that. He is going to have a little bit of rust still. It's going to take a couple weeks. It might take the rest of the season, which this all builds for next year. We are all hopeful right now. Yes, we can make the playoffs. I think there's a good chance we do make the playoffs. But obviously these next 2 games are the biggest of the season because they're 2 divisional games. We lost to the Ravens the first time, beat the Bengals the first time. So if we beat the Bengals and sweep them, they fall down in the standings in the division, because in the division, let's see, I believe they're 1-3 because they lost to the Steelers, Ravens, us, and beat the Steelers. So yeah, I believe they're 1-3. Let me make sure on that. 1-3 in the division. So if we beat them, they go to 1-4. We go to 3-1 in the division. That is huge. And then Baltimore and Pittsburgh play this week for the first time this season. Baltimore's 2-0 in the division. The Steelers are 1-2 in the division. So if Baltimore were to lose, they'd go to 2-1. We would go to 3-1 with the win in the division. That can go a long way. And the Bengals going to 1-4 would be absolutely huge. That could hurt them getting into the playoffs. Hopefully that does. So we'll see. But I do think there is rust from Deshaun Watson this week, and we'll get right into it. I really do think there is going to be some more rust. But last week, as Jacob and I broke down on Monday, there were glimpses. There was different glimpses of of why the Browns, give up 3 first-round draft picks and gave him the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history, despite not playing last year and despite the suspension that he eventually did get and serve 11 games. There was glimpses of it. There's a couple times that he felt the pressure without even seeing it. I forget who had the clip on there earlier. I believe it was Manny Maxwell on Twitter, former Network 216. Shout out to him. I can't remember. Where he got it from to save my life right now. But he's had that. And there was a play. The defenders are coming off to the left. Deshaun doesn't even look over that way, and he feels it and then avoids it and gets out of it. There's a couple times he avoided sacks. There's a couple times he made some plays with his feet. They did something really cool that I liked. They were doing this. It was a run pass option of sorts in my eyes, where it wasn't, they did the handoff. They did the fake handoff or the handoff at times, and Deshaun booted out. What they would do, though, is have Deshaun boot out to either side and then have these short throws. One went to Anthony Schwartz early in the game, who then fumbled it away. One went to, I believe it was Pharaoh Brown, and got a 10-yard gain on it. And then, you saw him take off. Oh, yes. Thank you, Zach. It was Quincy. That's who Manny credited for that. So go check out Quincy on Twitter. Seriously, one of the best Browns followers out there. Hopefully one day he is on this show and other shows on this network. The fact that defenses can't just stack the box now against Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who Kareem Hunt played a lot better against the Texans. Had 56 yards on 9 attempts. He looked a lot better. This opens up the run game because of that threat. He was obviously rusty and he didn't make all the throws. A lot of them were short and in the dirt or in the turf, I guess. But there was glimpses of what he can do, and that's just going to only enhance this running game. Nick Chubb historically has not been great against the Bengals. Let me look up his stats real quick. Because they do a pretty good job of containing him. As I say that, I look at these numbers and, he's getting his. No, I was wrong. They contained him earlier in his career. The past 4 games. Let's see. He has over 100 yards in 3 of the 4 of his last 4 against the Bengals, and 2 touchdowns in 3 of those 4. The game where he rushed for 58 yards on 9 carries back in January, the last game of the regular season, he did not score. But the games before that, the 2 games before that, 2 touchdowns in the game earlier this year on Halloween. He rushed for 101 on 23 carries and 2 scores. So there is a chance that he gets going, especially with Watson under center now. Shout out Big Kev Sports, guest on the show a couple months ago. Tremendous. Go Brownies, beat Northern Kentucky. Warden with a big game. So Denzel played better last week. He was still getting cooked at times. He's still getting cooked. Very troublesome to see, but he did, maybe that touchdown gets him going for the rest of the year. Hopefully stays injury free. He's battling injuries last week. So we'll see, but they're going to need all hands on deck against Joe Burrow and this elite Bengals offense. Because, like I said, they won 4 in a row. He's been balling out. They went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs last week, and let's see what his stats. 286 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. In his last 4 games, he has 8 touchdowns and 2 picks. And let's see, 550. So he has about 1,100 yards in the past 4 games. He's been on a tear. They've won all of those games. They haven't lost since the Cleveland game back in week 8. So week 9, 11, 12, and 13. Burrow's been playing out of his mind, putting himself in the MVP race, getting things, making things harder. But for whatever reason, the Browns have played decent against him. Let me look up those just so we have the right stats here. So the Bengals are 0-4 with Joe Burrow as a starting quarterback against the Browns. He has missed 2 games of the 6 potential games he could play. Notice I didn't say that he is 0-4 because wins aren't a quarterback stat. Let's see. The first game back in September of 2020, he threw for 316 and 3 touchdowns. Was not picked off, but was sacked 3 times. The next game on the 25th of October in 2020, he threw for 406 and 3 touchdowns and a pick. Was sacked 4 times. Last November, November 7th, he threw for 282, no touchdowns and 2 picks, and was sacked 5 times. And then on Halloween, he threw for 232, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and was sacked 5 times. Myles Garrett got him early and often. So we're hoping to see that once again. He made some sort of comment today. What's so different about the Browns and everyone else you play? And he said something along the lines of, the Browns have Myles Garrett and nobody else does. He's a pretty different player to me. So he's absolutely right. And Garrett has played sensational most of this year. A lot of people just see the stats. Oh, he didn't get a sack. Oh, he only had 3 tackles. Well, he does a lot more than that. He frees up a lot of guys. If they had a better interior line, this defense will be rocking it and rolling. They do not have that. That'll be addressed in the offseason. I'm 1,000% sure of it. How they do that, I don't know. What the answers are, I don't know. We'll talk about that as we get closer to the offseason, but we still have a regular season to worry about. But hopefully he can wreak havoc again. I mentioned Ward, Burrow's weapons, Jamar Chase's favorite weapon, came back last week. And then they also have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. So, yeah, we got our hands full. But I'm very impressed with Martin Emerson this year as a rookie. Fantastic young player. Very excited to see him continue to develop. And, Denzel Ward, him and the Bengals wide receiving core and Denzel Ward and the Browns secondary, they had some more words over the offseason. It's on site. So we'll see. Last time we didn't get to see Chase or Ward in the game. So we'll see what happens with that here. Hopefully, the defense can step up again like they have been. Hopefully it's more balanced this time, but last time it didn't hurt because defense special teams scored 3 touchdowns. 3. I could not believe it. If you had them in fantasy, congratulations. You probably won your week. Could have won you a championship probably, depending on where you are in the standing. Excuse me. So, big game. So the run game is going to be a little more open, like I said this time, because just of the threat of Deshaun, the threat of him beating you with his legs and with his arm. I'm sure the throws are going to be there a little bit more this time. He has the game speed a little bit more to work with it. He's not throwing from a non-stationary platform. He's on the move. He's making these throws. I think you'll see a little bit of that rust wear off, like I said earlier, but not all of it will wear off. I think this game could come down to a field goal. I think I predicted Browns won by 6 for Dog Pound Daily, if I remember right, 30-24. So that seems accurate to me. And I Am the Roo. I love that name, by the way. I Am the Roo. Shout out to Tony Fields, the second, and prayers to Taki Taki. Like I said earlier, Taki Taki lost this season with an ACL tear. And I feel so bad for him because I thought he earned himself an extension. I've been saying it for a while. He's really stepped up. He's been all over the field. I forget what game it was. Maybe the Ravens game. I think it was the Ravens. I want to say it was the Ravens. I could be wrong on that. He really started to stand out, and then from there he played pretty well. All things considered with this defense. I hate that for him. I really do. That isn't the only injury news. Like I said earlier, Anthony Schwartz going to the IR. So what the Browns did instead, they put him on IR and claimed wide receiver Jaylon Darden. I know Jacob Roach said he's going to be writing some on him tonight, so look for that tomorrow on Dog Pound Daily. I'm excited to read that because I don't know much about this dude. I saw a few people on Brown's Twitter say that's a great pickup. He has return abilities and he has some speed, so I'm excited to see what that looks like. Speaking of returns, Jerome Ford, I think, has been fantastic as a kick returner. Last week wasn't his greatest showing, but that's shout out to the Texans special teams on that. But I think he's been fantastic as a rookie coming out of. Sometimes comes out of the end zone. I don't like when he does that. Sometimes I just let it go in there or just take the knee because 9 times out of 10 you're not getting back to even the 25. You're barely getting to the 20 on that. So, but I think he's been fantastic. He got some carries last week, 3 rushes for 4 yards. He did have a 4-yard run, but then he went backwards on the next 2. So yeah, shout out to him because I'm excited to see what he does. I'm sure he'll be the number 2 back next year. I don't think Kareem Hunt is coming back. Maybe he will though. Maybe they'll see. Maybe he'll be unleashed finally, and he'll start playing better. I said last week on the Faithful Dogs podcast, which you can catch the latest episode 8:00 live tonight, right after I'm off the air. Actually, it's probably gonna be a little bit after I'm off the air because I'm gonna wrap this up here shortly. A lot shorter than I anticipated, but I said last week that it seems like every time I watch Kareem Hunt, with the exception of this past Sunday, so we're previewing the Texans game, it looks like he is like running in neutral, like. Just I don't get it. But this past week he looked more aggressive, looked more comfortable. Deshaun Watson said last week that he likes having Kareem Hunt in the huddle because he gets everyone relaxed. Something else I'm looking forward to this week in terms of Deshaun Watson, he gets David Njoku back. Chief comes back after a knee injury, or at least he's supposed to come back. I believe I saw today he's going to be playing this week, barring any setbacks for the rest of the week in practice. That's going to be so huge for the offensive line because he brings a toughness to them. He brings this grit to them. They're already considered one of the best in football, but the past few weeks they've just been getting bullied. That was the case a few times against the Texans, who don't have the greatest pass rush, but the Bills and Dolphins have pretty good pass rushes, and the Buccaneers as well. They were getting bullied at times, but in the end, the Browns have won 2 of those games. So. David Njoku brings a lot to that, and as a pass catcher, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be catching those quick passes from Deshaun Watson. He can use his athleticism to get down the field. Should be a good game this week. That's all I know. Should be a really good game. Hopefully the Cats can be contained. Hopefully Kevin Stefanski can keep his perfect record against the Cats. I believe I saw that Andrew Berry's wife text him. She shared the screenshot of a text. You guys are what I think it was 8-0 against Cat teams since you have been the GM. Did you know that? LO, I didn't know that. And so she just said that he wasn't as enthusiastic. Obviously, he doesn't care about that. That really doesn't matter. It's a fun thing to say. Can the Cats be tamed? Yeah, we got to tame those Cats. Going down to Northern Kentucky. I know, they say it's Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been to both. I've been to Kentucky and Cincinnati. They're the same thing. They're really the same thing. They're separated by a bridge. And it's not even the full bridge. You don't even go over the full bridge. You go halfway. So I consider them in Kentucky. A lot of people do. It's a funny thing to say. I don't care if it's factual or not. It's just a funny thing to say. It should be a good game. Before I get out of here, got to rep Homage again. Check this out. Lovely Cheese Pizza just for me. Fantastic Christmas shirt. There's a lot more on there. Make sure to go check them out. Homage.com. Make sure to go check out the network_216 Twitter page all the time for various promotional deals that we promote for Homage, and it's fantastic. Check them out. A bunch of cool stuff. All MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA teams. If you're a Grateful Dead fan, they have NBA and Grateful Dead mashup now. If you're a DC fan, or Marvel, I believe it. I'm sorry, Marvel. Then they have shirts for the NBA. They have different SpongeBob ones for the NFL now. They have so much cool stuff. It's unreal. The shirts, I cannot say how soft and how comfortable they are. I can't say that enough. So shout out to them. Also, Underdog Fantasy, if you're into fantasy sports, make sure to go check them out. In Ohio here in about 30 or 24 days, New Year's Day, you can check out live sports betting. You guys can do like, I think you guys can do like DraftKings and FanDuel and things like that, but Underdog Fantasy is where it's at. Use our code 216. There's the kitten cat's tail. Her name is Kitten, so I call her Kitten Cat a lot. You can use the network code 216, and Underdog Fantasy will match your first deposit up to $100. That's $100 free to use. They have all sorts of different games. And then if you want to do the daily fantasy, you don't get a salary cap like most other places. You get to draft your team. And we all know the best thing about fantasy sports is drafting your team. You can do that every week. They have a bunch of cool different features on there. Check that out, Underdog Fantasy. And make sure to use the code 216. Get your first deposit up to $100 matched. Can't say enough good things, but that's fantastic. It's free money. So, yeah, this week, can the Cats be tamed? We will see. It's going to be a tough task. The Bengals are on fire, but we've had their number. Obviously, the games, excuse me. Let's see the 5 games as coach for Kevin Stefanski has coached these guys. They do not matter. None of that matters. Last week doesn't matter. Next week surely doesn't matter until we get to this week. We have to win this week. I do think there is a sliver of hope. If they lose this week, they can maybe sneak in the playoffs at 9-8. But I think the best bet is going 10-7. We'll see. Big game. I can't wait for it. I hope that the Browns can build off the past 2 wins. That's the first time all season they won 2 in a row. The first time all season, which is bizarre, but that's just how the season was. And before I get out of here, I saw earlier, if you took every 1-score game in the NFL and flipped them, the top 6 of the top 7 teams in the AFC would be 8-4, with the Browns being one of those teams. So just think about that. 1-score games, if they flipped, would be 8-4. The Ravens game was 1-score game. The Jets game was a 1-score game. The Panthers game was a 1-score game, which we would have, if we would have flipped that, we would have lost that one, but that's all right. I guess technically the Bills game was a 1-score game. So the Chargers game was a 1-score game. The Bucks game was a 1-score game. There's a bunch of them. Luckily, we were on the right side of a few of them. I wish we were on the right side of a lot of them. But, it is what it is. So, Faithful Dogs podcast coming up 8 p.m. Join Jack, Zach, and Tyler. They will get you even more covered for this game coming up. They'll make some picks for the week. And their weekly pick 'em I did last week. I don't think I did well for them. I don't know if I got a single one right, because I picked against teams that I needed to see the lose for the Browns to win. I know I picked the Chiefs to win. I know I picked the Falcons to win. I don't remember the other 2 games I picked. So check them out, 8 p.m. Make sure to subscribe to YouTube. We are giving away a jersey of your choice. Any jersey you want, from any sport you want. We're giving that away. I don't know if it's at a certain number of subscribers, or if it's at a certain date. We're going to say, hey, subscribe by this date. We're trying to figure that out, see what people like more. So check that out. Faithful Dogs podcast coming up at 8. And then make sure to check out Dog Chug, one of my favorite shows that I have been on this year. Just fantastic. I can't say, it's so innovative and unique that it's very different. So I believe it's called Spit, Sip, or Chug. Talking about whether you agree with something, extremely disagree with it, or you're somewhere in the middle. They will go over that with you. Make sure to join Andy, Roger, and Ross as they pound beers, hang out, and talk some Cleveland sports, sometimes as well as Wednesday at 10 p.m. Now it's at 10 p.m. They switched permanently to 10 p.m. They do talk some Guardians. Shout out Chuck. He comes on there. Hopefully he did not drop his groceries this time. We'll wait and see what he says tonight. If he's on there tonight, I don't know if he's on there tonight. You never know, Chuck. Chuck used to be a member of the network. Great guy. Loves his Guardians. Can't say anything bad about the guy. Let's see. Let me tell you when who was going to be a guest on the Dog Chug tonight. Before I get out of here. And so Roger does like a late night with David Letterman, top 10. fantastic stuff. Like I love it so much. I like it's just so funny. They have different guests come on. They have different bits come on, do different things. Just fantastic stuff. I really can't get over it. And I really had a blast on the show when I was on. I believe it was the week before Thanksgiving. I think, yeah, the week before Thanksgiving. Really had a blast. So they are live tonight, 10 p.m. Special guest Papa Mick 440. So if you know who that is on Twitter, then you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Also, Ken Bump will be on there. Bengals fan coming back for more. So that should be interesting. I always do like getting perspectives from other teams, whether it's their fans or their writers. Had different people do that this year and last year. Yeah, make sure to join Andy, Roger, and Ross. Andy's probably going to drink a concoction of God knows what, and God bless him for it, because I couldn't do it. But God bless him for it. Fantastic show. Make sure to check that out. Such a fun, innovative show. But before we get to there, 17 minutes from now, Faithful Dogs Podcast, Jack, Zach, and Tyler get you ready even further for this game. They make some NFL picks, and they give some loose end thoughts on the Browns. So make sure to go follow everyone at the network, network_216. There's so many people on the network that I can't shout them all out because I'll be here for another hour. And that's awesome because I love working with all these people. Make sure to check us out there. Homage, Underdog Fantasy, check them out. Obviously, the bottom of the screen, King Award 15. Hit me up. We'll talk Browns, we'll talk wrestling, we'll talk life. We'll talk whatever you want to talk about. Hit me up, follow me. Make sure to follow the YouTube page. 1 second here. Yeah, so it's the same. The YouTube is the same. Like I thought earlier, and I said earlier, I was just double checking because that's how I am. YouTube.com/ at the @ network_216, just like you see it on Twitter. Make sure to check it out. We're giving a free jersey away. Free. That's it. Free. You just have to subscribe. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a certain number of subscribers or if it's a certain date. We'll let everyone know. A free jersey for you. Check out Nick Carnes too. He's teaming up and giving away 2 tickets to the Christmas Eve game against the Saints. Jarvis Landry's homecoming to Cleveland. So his other homecoming hasn't gone as planned. I wrote about that for Dog Pound Daily. Check that out. Check me and Jacob out over there. But yeah, check out Carnes. Huge Browns fan. Love the guy. He's giving away 2 tickets. I don't remember when the announcement is going to be for those, but check that out. Network_216. Can't get enough of it. Yeah, I'd be here all night if I was going to plug everything, and that's awesome. And we're just trying to do this thing bigger and better every week. I'll try and do better. I'll try and have some guests coming on. Start a new job next week, so we'll see how that works out. So maybe the podcasting will simmer down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try not to. I'll try and be back here next week, better than ever. Faithful Dogs, 15 minutes from now, 8 o'clock. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to watch it. Check us out. Till then, go Browns.